Okay, last section on this is we'll be using our Mock Hydroxide Relaxer Retouch. So you'll get that container and the brush for that one. So don't forget with this one, we're only applying to 2 inches of new growth. So earlier I had explained that the tip of this is more like 1/8 of an inch. Your pinky nail is roughly about 1/2 inch, okay? If you have this wider coloring brush, the width of this is 2 inches. So to ensure that we're only applying to the 2 inches of new growth, you can use your brush for this, okay? Now, we did have to have we listed to have a few extra foils in here, okay? You wanted these for in case one fail, but also what helps with this is I don't want to get this on any other section and get marked off, so I'm just laying that across, because on this one, I like to start from the top of this section and work my way down, okay? So I'm just fitting those foils and then putting that clip down so that I do not make a mess, okay? So like I said before, still doing 1/2 inch subsections, like I said, diagonal back, horizontal, diagonal forward. Just make sure everything is still nice, clean, and neat. And make sure we have everything combed out. So your criteria on this one is apply relaxer product for retouch application. So you don't have to come in and smooth or do anything like that. So if you would like to have product in there, have the color brush at the scalp, and you can set that down. Now that tells you how far that 2 inches of new growth is, okay? So that you're able to keep everything consistent and get all your points on this section also. Okay, so you apply to one side and then apply to the other. Once again, 1/2 inch subsections, only doing 2 inches of new growth. So from here on out, I apply to that underside and then I apply over the top. And the reason for me doing that is that if I were to do this way, all I'm doing is pushing that down. So you're not able to see those subsections for the proctor to grade you correctly. So I like to do the top part of that section application at the end, so once I do that, you can still see those sections very, very clearly. Now in the real world, on a actual person, you can go ahead, you don't have to be showing those subsections. You'll still want to take the subsections, but you're not getting graded and making sure that those are clear to see. Okay, so like I said, first time the underside, then after that over the top, and then I leave it or flip it. So once again, making sure, clean subsections, check yourself that you're consistently staying those, only applying to those 2 inches of new growth. Don't be scared to move the mannequin's head around. Okay, it's just like as if you're working on a person. You ask them to tilt or move, okay? And just make sure you have good saturation. Don't leave any dry spots. So apply to that underside first, then on the top, just so that we can still see those nice sections, subsections very, very clearly. And make sure those subsections are 1/2 inch, okay? If you need to check yourself, you can just kind of put your fingertip there to make sure you haven't turned them into about 1 inch to 1.5 inch wide subsections. Now here, sometimes we'll tend to get some product on the ear. That's fine, it happens. Just make sure before that proctor comes over to grade it that you clean her up, okay? Now at this point, I can grab all those dry ends, pull them down, and now that proctor can see those subsections very nice and easy, and I didn't push them together, okay? Now at this point, you're done. You just stop and step back, because the very end of the exam, that's when they tell you to clean up. So that's when you're gonna clean all this stuff. So at this point, just stop, wait for them to check you out, then for them to announce, okay, now we are at the end of the exam disinfection. So grab everything that you have, put it in your trash bag, spray everything down with barbicide, your the shelves that you had your bags on, spray that down, wipe everything down, make sure it's nice and clean and neat, no trash is on the floor product, put everything in your bag, and you're done for the day. And you'll get your passing grade. So I hope you guys enjoy this. The one thing I will add though that I forgot to add earlier is when you're doing your bag packing, it would be smart to have an extra Ziploc bag labeled sanitize your clean implements, and have some extra gloves in there for you. If you didn't already put extra gloves in each bag, because let's say you have to run to the restroom, or somehow you pick something up off the floor and you had that glove on. Well, you're gonna have to put on a nice clean new pair. So you can have that labeled, kept on the side. So if you do need to get into it, just remember anytime you're getting into a new bag, make sure you sanitize your hands first. You can grab what you need, seal it up, put it back on the shelf, okay?